My adjournment matter is for the Minister for Emergency Services, and the action I seek is for him to coordinate a meeting of government departments to develop a comprehensive plan for fire preparedness in South West Coast which eliminates cumbersome red tape. Minister, for 3 years I've had CFA volunteers from across the South West Coast electorate come to me frustrated by the processes which get in the way of doing what they have always done, managing our roadsides to reduce risk during the fire season. What was once a relatively simple process has over time become a convoluted process, now requiring brigades to organise fire services officers, departments like Vic Roads and DWELP and local governments to issue the permits for roadside burns. A bureaucratic nightmare has developed. These historic practices do not go where native vegetation is found, nor are they environmentally destructive. They are an effective way of ensuring the long grass that can serve as fuel for a fast-moving grass fire is reduced and creates wider fire breaks to help brigades maintain control during an emergency. Since the St Patrick's Day fires, my office and the office of my colleague, the member for Polwarth, has been inundated with calls, letters and representations from people who had horror stories of trying to escape the fire front, only to find their way out was blocked by fallen trees, which in many instances were not native species. Many feel our roadsides have become unsafe because proper maintenance has taken a backseat in the name of environmental practices. What has happened in the past where farmers took responsibility for the roadsides, making sure they were clear of fallen limbs and long grass, has ceased because people do not know what they are allowed to do. We also need to get Vic Roads out there slashing and spraying the roadsides, not just for fire safety but for motorist safety. The time to do this is now. If you don't spray, the grass will grow and get to a point that we've seen over the years where it is beyond spraying and needs slashing. Last year, I had hundreds of constituents come to my office reporting intersections that the grass was so high they couldn't see what was coming down the road. Vic Road said there was a backlog and they would get a tractor and slasher when they could. This backlog is caused by lack of planning and lack of spraying. Every year it rains over winter and spring and then the grass grows. It's not a surprise. We shouldn't be caught off guard by something like this. It happens year after year. You'd think we'd learn, but it's not the case because the departments are siloed and one doesn't know what the other is doing. There needs to be a coordinated approach to get a plan in place so we know year after year who's going to do what and when. It's too important for community safety to have haphazard approach like we have seen this year. And as I have the honour of having the last word as the last Speaker of the 58th Parliament, my message is listen to the country. Labor clearly don't give a stuff about the country, but I do and I will deliver.